3.2. Comparative forms. Intensification. Usually with adjectives. Most intensification forms occur with adjectives to compare the degree of the quality. Beautiful, more beautiful, most beautiful. Positive, comparative, superlative. Comparative. A comparative form that enables a comparison between two things or persons. Superlative. The highest form of intensification for a comparison between three or more things or persons. Some adverbs also have intensifiers, for example, wohl to wohler. Indefinite number words much and little also have intensifiers, much to more and little to less. Exercise. Example. Brother clever. Answer. My brother is smarter than your brother. Always umlaut with certain adjectives such as old, poor, hard, cold, sick, long, close, sharp, weak, strong, warm, tall, high, stupid, young, clever, short. Umlaut is possible with adjectives such as pale, smooth, wet, healthy. Adjectives with irregular comparative forms. High, higher, good, better. With adjectives on er, en, and the e can be dropped in the comparative. For adjectives with el, the e is dropped in the comparative. Example, bitter, bittere oder bittere. Trocken, trockener oder trockner. Different as Maria is taller than Petra. Same as Maria is as tall as Petra. Adjectives are intensified in the comparative and superlative. In the superlative, am and sten are used. The form of the superlative can be predicative or adverbial. Examples. Positive. The apples are cheap. Comparative. The tomatoes are cheaper. Superlative or predicative. The bananas are the cheapest. In the superlative, some adjectives have an umlaut similar to the comparative. Example, warm, warmest, clever, cleverest. Adjectives with irregular superlative forms, nah, am nächsten, nearest. Attention, after s, ss, sz, z, t is esten, e.g. sweet, sweetest. Short, shortest. Pale, palest, but big, biggest, good, best. Hard, hardest. Harmless, most harmless. Intelligent, most intelligent, but big, biggest. 3.3. Reflexive verbs. Reflexive verbs are verbs with additional pronouns that refer back to the subject. These nouns are called reflexive pronouns. I'm taking a shower tonight. Unreal reflexive verbs. And many verbs that are used reflexively, the reflexive pronoun is an accusative object. In this case, the pronoun can be replaced by another accusative object. These verbs are also called unreal reflexive verbs. He washes his dog. A person, subject in the nominative case, washes another person, being object in the accusative case. The man gets dressed. A person, subject in the nominative case, dresses himself. Reflexive pronoun as object in the accusative case. Genuine reflexive verbs. There are also verbs that can only be used reflexively. These verbs are known as genuine reflexive verbs. You can recognize genuine reflexive verbs by the fact that the reflexive pronoun cannot be omitted and cannot be replaced by another pronoun or noun. Example, catching a cold. It's very cold outside, so I caught a cold. Reflexive pronoun. Reflexive verbs have a pronoun that refers back to the subject. This pronoun is called a reflexive pronoun. With genuine reflexive verbs, the reflexive pronoun is an integral part of the verb. With non-genuine reflexive verbs, it is an object. For the most part, the forms of the reflexive pronoun correspond of those of the personal pronoun. Only in the third person does the reflexive pronoun have a different form and reads in the singular and plural sich. The reflexive pronoun is usually in the accusative and then has the following forms. Reflexive pronoun in accusative: I wash myself, you wash yourself, and so on. Lection 4. 4.1. Verbs with a prepositional object. Maria is reading a book. Accusative object, a book. Paul gives me a pen. Dative object, me. The pupils listen to the teacher. Prepositional object, to the teacher. Personal subject, pay attention to, accusative. Start, begin with, dative. Stop with, dative. Think about, accusative. Loath about, accusative. Flee or escape from, dative. Think about, accusative. Protest against, accusative. Reckon with, dative. Take care of, accusative. Take part in, dative. Wait for, accusative. Impersonal subject, belong to, dative. Fit in with, dative. Smell like, dative. Taste like, dative. Personal subject and accusative object, ask for, accusative. Invite to, dative. Ask for, dative. Inform about, accusative. Personal subject plus dative object, answer to, accusative. Thank for, accusative. Congratulate on, dative. Help with, dative. Personal subject, reflexive. Get angry about, accusative. Get involved in, accusative. Remember, accusative. Be afraid of, dative. Be interested in, accusative. Take care of, accusative. Worry about, accusative. Meet with, dative. Make an appointment with, dative. Say goodbye to, dative. Rely on, accusative. Wonder about, accusative. Two prepositional objects. Discuss about, accusative. Talk to, dative. Two prepositional objects, different. Work on, dative. Apply for, accusative. Decide for, accusative. Look forward to, accusative. Prepare for, accusative. 4.2. Pronominal adverbs. Prepositional object, person, being. Do you often think about your family? Yes, I often think about them. Preposition plus personal pronoun. Prepositional object, thing or process. Do you complain about the loud noise? Yes, I am complaining about it. Pronominal adverb, prepositional object, thing or process. Do you take care of the environment? Yes, we take care of it. Pronominal adverb, prepositional object, person, being. Do you often talk to your colleagues? Yes, I often talk to them. Preposition plus personal pronoun. Preposition plus question word. Person, who are you happy about? I am happy about my friend. Thing or event, what are you happy about? Or pronominal adverb as an interrogative, what are you happy about? I am happy about the present. 4.3. Subordinate clauses, conditional. Example 1. Conditional. Available seats in the restaurant. Option, go out to eat. Consequence 1. If there are free seats in the restaurant, we can go out to eat. Consequence 2. If there are no free seats in the restaurant, we cannot go out to eat. Example 2. Condition, good weather forecast for the weekend. Option, picnic in the park. Consequence 1. If the weather is good at the weekend, we can have a picnic in the park. Consequence 2. If the weather is bad at the weekend, we can't have a picnic in the park. Conditional subordinate clauses can begin with wenn or da. Lection 5, 5.1. Subjunctive 2. Would have, would be modal verbs. Subjunctive 2 is used for hypothetical, unreal situations, wishes, assumptions, or polite forms. Would, I would, you would, he, she, it would, we would, you would, they would, you would. Have, I would have, you would have, he, she, it would have, we would have, you would have, they would have. I would be, you would be, he, she, it would be, we would be, you would be, they or you would be. Would or could can be used to express a polite question or request. Would you let me know when you have time? Could you please let me know when you have time? Could you help me with transportation? Would you mind helping me with transportation? 5.2. Prepositions with dative and accusative. Where is Mrs. Müller going? Action. Mrs. Müller is going to the park. Preposition in plus accusative indicates the direction or movement. Where is Mrs. Müller reading? Position. Mrs. Müller is reading in the park. Preposition im is in the plus dative indicates the place or position. Preposition on, question, where, case, dative, position, accusative, action. Example, on the table, dative, position. On the table, accusative, action. Preposition behind, question, where or where to. Casus, dative position, accusative action. Example, behind the tree can be dative as a position, or behind the tree can be accusative and action. Preposition about, question, where or where to. Again, dative, position, accusative, action. Over the river, dative, position. Over the river, accusative, action. Preposition beside. Question, where or where to. Casus, dative, position, accusative, action. Example, beside the house, dative position, next to the house, accusative action. Preposition 2. Question, where or when. Dative position, accusative action, dative time. On the wall, dative position, on the wall, accusative action, or on Monday, dative time. In, preposition in, question, where or when. Casus, dative, position, accusative action, dative, time. Example, in the box, dative, position, or into the box, accusative action, in summer, dative, time. Preposition before. Question, where to, or when. Casus, dative, position, accusative as an action, and dative in a time. In front of the car is dative position, in front of the car can be accusative action, and 2 days ago, dative time. Preposition under, where or where to. Dative position, accusative action, under the bed in dative position, under the bed, accusative action. Preposition between, questions, where or when. Dative position, accusative action, dative time. Example, between the trees, dative position, between the trees can be accusative action. Between yesterday and today, dative time. Prepositions can be combined with the definite article dem or das. Stands for an dem, an stands for an das, im stands for in that, in dem, ins stands for in das, aufs means auf das, fors stands for das. The airplane flies over the ocean. Where? The airplane is flying over the ocean. Where? So it depends if it is a position or an action. The seasons, the spring, the summer, the fall, the winter, the months. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. The days of week. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. The times of day, the morning, the noon, the afternoon, the evening, the night. Schon means earlier than expected or earlier than usual. Erst means late or later than expected or than usual. Schon heute implies that something is happening faster than expected. Erst morgen means that it will be completed later than today, not yet, now, but later. Using schon emphasizes surprise at the earlier completion. Erst emphasizes the delay or later time compared to the current time. 5.3 Similar verbs. Actions with an indication of direction where to use action verbs in the accusative. Setzen. I put the baby in the baby carriage. I sit down on my chair. Stellen. To place. I put the book on the shelf. I put myself in the queue. Legen. I put the clothes in the closet. I lie down on the bed. Hängen. I hang the picture on the wall. Stecken. I put the key in my pocket. Actions without direction where use positional verbs in the dative case. Sitzen. The dog is sitting in the basket. Stehen. The vase is on the table. Liegen. The magazine is lying on the table. Hängen. The jacket is hanging in the wardrobe. Stecken. The document is in the folder. Lection 6. 6.1 Präterit. Imperfect. Präterit, weak verbs, regular, infinitiv, kaufen, arbeiten. Präterit, kaufte, arbeitete. Ich kaufte, ich arbeitete. Du kauftest, du arbeitetest. Er, sie, es kaufte, er, sie, es arbeitete. Wir kauften, wir arbeiteten. Und so weiter. Examples of verbs with a stem on t, d, hn, ffn, gn are given the ending et in the past tense. I answered, we talked, he calculated, I opened, it was raining. Note, verbs ending with eln, ern, igen, iren are always weak. Example, I collected, I changed, I visited, I phoned. Präterit, strong verbs, irregular, infinitive, essen. Präterit, aß, ate. I ate, you ate, he, she, it ate, we ate, you ate, you ate. Präterit, mixed verbs, irregular, infinitive, bring, think, know, burn, know, call, run, send, turn. And präterit, I, you, he, she, it, you, or you formal, brought, thought, knew, burned, knew, named, ran, sent, turned. 6.2 Relative clauses. Relative clauses with relative pronouns. Relative clauses can explain or define a noun in more detail. They serve as an attribute and expand the information about the noun. Examples of relative pronouns in the nominative case: der, die, das. Examples of relative pronouns in the accusative case: den, die, das. Examples of relative pronouns in the dative case: dem, der, dem. Example of relative pronouns in the accusative: den, please bring me the pen. That's on the table. In this sentence, the relative pronoun der refers to the noun Kugelschreiber. The relative clause der auf dem Tisch liegt describes in more detail which ballpoint pen it is. Comparison. Do you know the woman? Which woman? Example in the nominative case. Do you know the woman who works in the garden? Example of relative pronoun in the dative case, dem. Example, please give the book to the man who you wanted to thank yesterday. Relative clause whom you wanted to thank yesterday describes the man in more detail. Dative plural, denen. There were several people in the queue outside the store. They were waiting for the store to open. Main clause, main clause. There were several people in the queue outside the store waiting for the store to open. Main clause, relative clause. There were several people in the queue in front of the store waiting for the store to open. Main clause part 1. Inserted relative clause, main clause part 2. Relative clauses with preposition plus relative pronoun. This is the place where we met. Here is the book we talked about. She remembers the days she liked to think back on. Relative clauses with verbs plus preposition becomes preposition plus relative pronoun. This is the movie I'm looking forward to. This is the person I like working with. These are the things we have to take care of. 6.3. Plusquamperfect. The plusquamperfect is used to express that an action in the past was completed before another action in the past. Formation auxiliary verb had or was in the past tense plus past participle of the verb. Example, she had already fallen asleep when I got home. Falling asleep took place before coming home. She read out the title. Before that, she had opened the book. Max drank coffee. He had brewed it fresh beforehand. Lection 7. 7.1. Subordinate clauses. So that subordinate clauses with so that explain the purpose or intention of an action in the main clause. They answer the question what for and show why something is being done. First, I study hard so that I can get good grades. Purpose, studying is done with the aim of getting good grades. Second, she practices the piano every day so that she can play well at her concert. Intention, daily practice serves the purpose of playing well at the concert. Third, he drives slowly so that he doesn't have an accident. Intention, driving slowly is to prevent him from having an accident. Want, like, should cannot be used in subordinated clauses with so that. 7.2. Indefinite pronouns and articles. Indefinite pronouns and articles are grammatical elements used to talk about unspecified people, things, or quantities. Indefinite articles are words like ein or kein that come before a noun and indicate that the noun is not specific. They vary by case. Nominative, accusative, dative, genitive, and gender, masculine, feminine, neuter, as well as in the plural. Example, ein Hund, keine Katzen. Indefinite pronoun. Indefinite pronouns like etwas, jemand, or keiner stand alone and replace a noun or noun phrase. They can also be negated by putting the k before the pronoun, as in keiner or keines. Example, has anyone seen my glasses? No, nobody has seen them. Usage. Indefinite articles and pronouns are used when nothing specific is being discussed or when the identity of the person or object is known. They can appear in questions, statements, and negations. Examples. I want to buy a book. Indefinite article. Do you have anything to drink? Indefinite pronoun. I don't have time. Negated indefinite pronoun. Special features. Indefinite articles always go with a noun, while pronouns go alone. The endings of indefinite articles vary depending on the case, gender, and number, while pronouns have no endings except in the plural. In German, the k can be placed before indefinite pronoun for negation. Is there a park lot here? Yes, there is one in front of the building. Have you seen my pen? No, no one has seen it. Do you like to eat pears? Yes, I like to eat them. 7.3. Subordinate clauses, interrogative clauses. A subordinate clause is a sentence construction that cannot stand alone but depends on a main clause. In subordinate clause, the verbs is at the end of the sentence. An interrogative clause is a question that aims to obtain information. In an interrogative clause, the verb is also often at the end, especially if it begins with a question word such as when, where, who, what, why, etc. An example of subordinate clause that is an interrogative clause. Interrogative clause. When does the train leave? Subordinate clause, I don't know when the train leaves. Here, when the train leaves, is the subordinate clause. The verb leaves is at the end of the sentence as it is typical for a subordinate clause. Question: is Lisa going to the concert? Answer: I don't know if Lisa is going to the concert. Here the question is Lisa going to the concert is converted into a subordinate clause with the conjunction if to express the uncertainty about Lisa's attendance at the concert. Lection 8. 8.1. Demonstrative articles and demonstrative pronouns. Dieser, diese, dieses are demonstrative pronouns in German that indicate something specific near or in relation to something already mentioned. They come before a noun depending on the case. In the nominative, they indicate that the noun is the subject in the sentence. In the accusative, they indicate that the noun is the direct object in the sentence. In the dative, they indicate that the noun is the indirect object in the sentence. The form of dieser, diese, dieses changes depending on the gender and number of the noun. In the plural, the form remains unchanged, regardless of whether is in nominative, accusative, or dative. Nominative: this man is my brother, masculine. This woman is my sister, feminine. This car is mine, neutral. These children are very nice, plural. Accusative: I see this man on the street, masculine. I wear this blouse for dinner, feminine. I bought this book yesterday, neutral. I like eating these fruits, plural. Dative: I give this man my book, masculine. I help this woman carry her bags, feminine. I tell this child a story, neutral. I give these children candy, plural.
eGerman.de